had to do that. I haven't streamed in so fucking long that I forgot how to do absolutely anything. Let's see. That's seen there. Okay, that's good. Okay, so and this had 7 updates. Now there's an 8th update. So I think that'll take us to the bottom. Let's see here. Because there's been like an update like every single hour. Lebanon is now in the war as well. They're standing with Iran. But Iran struck 2 hotels, and in Lebanon, after Lebanon was bombed, they like a lot of people are leaving. Thousands of people are absolutely just getting the fuck out of there. Okay. Let me go back to... Oh, that was another thing. I'm gonna go to this real quick. Trump has yet to like come out publicly and talk about any of this. I can read these. I guess I kind of forget that YouTube is seeing my screen, but TikTok is not. But so from the point that Trump announced the military attack on Iran, by the way, I'm reading this from the New York Times, if you're curious of where I'm getting this information. The only thing he's done is posted a social media video at 2:30 a.m. on Saturday. And see. Yeah, he didn't even deliver a televised address informing the public of the killing of the Ayatollah Khamenei, who is the leader, by the way, if you don't know who that is, it's the leader of Iran. And again, want to point out, not defending the Ayatollah Khamenei, but we have kidnapped Venezuela's leader, and we've killed Iran's leader. Absolutely. And I forgot that Maduro even happened this year. I honestly thought that was at the end of last year, but I forgot that it was at the beginning of this year. So that's 2 world leaders in 2 months. This is absolutely ridiculous. But like I was saying, he has yet to make an appearance or an address. It's a very weird lack of engagement. Also, this doesn't even mention, and neither did the other one, the school that was bombed, the all-girls school in Iran, that has killed 115. There were only 170 girls in that school, and it's killed 115 of them. This is a fucking mess, yo. But, okay, anyway, let me go back to this, because I'm trying to, like, jump around for whatever reason. Excuse me. Yeah, Trump says this could last up to 5 weeks. But I've seen another report that has said it could last 4 weeks or less. Like, also, this is an extremely unpopular war, by the way. I want to put that out there now that this is extremely unpopular. See, the Israeli military said on Monday, again, I'm reading from the New York Times. They said on Monday that it began striking Hezbollah targets in Lebanon. And the statement came after the military said it intercepted one projectile from Lebanon and that other projectiles had fallen into open areas with no injuries or damage reported. I'm more inclined, if I'm being honest, to go to Al Jazeera because I don't know how much I trust the New York Times necessarily. See, this was a minute ago, but again, if you want to see what I'm seeing, you can go to YouTube, and you can see my screen. But I'm on the Al Jazeera website. That was 14 minutes ago. They've had 23 updates. Here, I'm going to scroll down farther. That was 4 hours ago. Ishiha. What is this? Okay, yeah. Hezbollah enters the fray. By the way, Israel has bombed Lebanon over 12,000. They've disrupted the ceasefire over 12,000 times. So there was never any ceasefire between them, really. Well, it was a one-sided ceasefire, like this says, but Israel just seems to want to kill everybody. I'm trying to find a good place to... I keep scrolling down. I'm like trying to find a good place to figure out where to start reading from, because Al Jazeera seems to have so many more updates than the New York Times does. So I might just read from here. See, UK reports suspected drone strike on military base in Cyprus. The UK Ministry of Defense said that a suspected drone hit its military base in Cyprus. It's pretty much talking about how it was not very effective, essentially. I also still think it's funny how, our peacetime president is over here fucking starting wars. Doesn't make any sense to call yourself the peacetime president and then be like, oh, we're going to war with Iran for 5 weeks. Sure, okay. Let's see. People are fleeing Beirut. Where is... Yeah, there we go. Yeah, the Lebanese capital, Israel struck, which I saw a post earlier on TikTok that said the strikes in Lebanon have already displaced tens of thousands of people, and like earlier I just read, people are already fleeing their homes, which, by the way, this is in the middle of Ramadan. And so people are having to break their Ramadan tradition of eating at sunset or sunrise. I'm not sure what time it was over there whenever I saw that. But, and Iran's fucking pissed. There's a video, I don't think I saved it, but there's a video of Iran, raising a red flag, meaning, I guess that means revenge for them, which, absolutely fair. A senator has already come out and said that there was no indication that Iran was going to launch a preemptive strike on the U.S. Oh, yeah, see, Adam Schiff said he's going to join other lawmakers in forcing a vote on a war powers resolution that would curb Trump's authority to strike Iran. Congress holds the power to declare war, not the president, which is true. I wish they would fucking, I really wish that they would just do something, Congress is just now saying something. Come on. It looks like Tim Kaine, Rand Paul, Chuck Schumer, of course. They're all going to force a vote on the War Powers Resolution to make it clear that Congress has not authorized this use of our military. Let's see. Such a resolution, if passed by the U.S. House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate, would require the president to seek congressional approval. Jesus, I can't fucking talk. For future strikes. But Trump could veto such a resolution unless it has 2/3 support in both chambers of Congress. A likely unreachable barrier. I understand why the president has the power he does. He's, it's the most important occupation in our country. It's the most important position in our country. I get that. But I don't understand how Trump can just be like, oh, here we go. We're going to go to war with this country. And nobody says anything. Nobody's like, yeah, we're not doing that. Did you get approval for that? And I get, Pete Hegseth is a part of the Trump regime. I get that. But again, Pete Hegseth also commands people. He's not out there, he's not doing the bombing, right? He's just, doing the commanding. And nobody is like, yeah, we're not going to do that. You didn't get approval for that. Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense. Let's see. What the fuck is that word? I've never seen that word in my entire life. Let's see. Oh, that's a poll. Only a quarter of Americans support attacks on Iran. Like I said earlier, this is not popular at all. Qatar changes strategy on Iranian attacks. Looks like Qatar has shifted away from this is from the person reporting this from Qatar. They said that Qatar has shifted away from what I would call its initial phase. Over the past 48 hours, we've seen the Patriot defense system being deployed to intercept these missiles and drones, But if you intercept these projectiles, there are risks from falling debris, which I think they've already had a slight problem with. I think there was some debris that fell close to a military base, and it started a bunch of fires. The defense ministry is saying that they are deploying fighter jets to shift from intercepting missiles over the city of Doha to shooting them down over the waters of the Gulf, obviously, because it seems to be safer. Let's see, we've been standing here in central Doha for the past 10 hours. Oh my God. And we haven't heard any explosions. In fact, the explosions seem to be a bit distant now and far away compared to the situation on Saturday. That's... see. Heavy exodus from southern Lebanon to Beirut. The Lebanese National News Agency is reporting a massive displacement. Like I said earlier, a lot of people are being displaced right now in the south of the country following the exchange of fire between Israel and Hezbollah. It said there's a heavy exodus from the Tyre region towards Beirut and northern Lebanon. As we've been reporting, the Israeli military has ordered residents of at least 53 villages and towns in southern Lebanon to evacuate their homes. Let's see. Yeah, and then this is just Lebanon is now joining the war. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's the video of them firing the rockets. Oil prices are already starting to go up. Brent crude rose as much as 13% in Asia on Monday morning before stabilizing later that day, with the international benchmark up by about 5% at $76.48 a barrel. As of midday Tokyo time. Let's see. Air raid in Baghdad's Jirf al-Sakir area. I'm not going to be good at pronouncing these, so I wouldn't I would be expecting people to be like, that's questionable pronunciation. Let's see. Yeah, that's a congresswoman who was talking about how she doesn't believe Trump has good intentions or a plan as it pertains to the future of Iran. He doesn't. I mean, but I'm sure that says she genuinely hopes she's wrong. That she, yeah. No, she's not. Trump doesn't give a fuck about the Iranian people at all. He's disguising this as liberation for the Iranian people because they were in a massive protest, right? What am I looking at? And no, that's fine. Sorry, I was looking at something on my YouTube, and it's being weird, kind of, but that's okay. But like I said, Trump doesn't care about the Iranian people. He's disguising it as liberation, like Americans always do. for the Iranian people, but he doesn't care. He wants whatever resources that they have. He's also disguising it as nukes. Like, they can't have nukes. When do and I keep saying this in videos too, right? When does Iran get these nukes? They've been talking about Iran having nukes for like 30, 40 years now, and they're still using that excuse. Like, when do they get these? When do they get these nukes, right? Yeah, here we go. 2 hours ago, hundreds of thousands of people are fleeing their homes in Lebanon. I was hoping it would give an like an estimate, but yeah, like this person says people are supposed to be fasting during the daylight hours because it's Ramadan. And they're supposed to be having their final meal before fasting today, and instead they're looking for shelter. But okay, that's fine. Whatever. You know what? I'll just keep recording and hope we're good. Okay, that was that. Yeah, the Cyprus drone attack caused limited damage. Let's see. Lebanon's president slams Israel and Hezbollah. Yosef, not quite sure how to pronounce that last name, but they say the attacks launched by Hezbollah on Israel from Lebanese territory undermine the government's effort to keep Lebanon away from the dangerous military confrontations taking place. Ace in the region. He also went on to denounce Israeli aggression against Lebanon. We condemn the Israeli attacks on the Lebanese territories and alert that the continued use of Lebanon... Oh, shit. What the fuck? And alert that continued use of Lebanon, again as a platform for supporting wars unrelated to us, will once again expose our country to risks once more. Let's see. And like I said, Iran's absolutely fucking pissed because they're gonna go out with a bang. If they're going down, they're gonna go down fighting. Iran's leaders fear surrender far more than war. I mean, fair. The US is already aiming to kill all of their leaders, unfortunately, but and I wouldn't be surprised if the US tries to put somebody that they want in their place. That's what they do every time, unless somebody is willing to give the US what they want. Okay, let me go up to these updates. Okay, this is as of 4 minutes ago. The U.S. Embassy in Kuwait warns of ongoing missile and drone threats. The U.S. Embassy in Kuwait says there is a continuing threat of missile and UAV attacks over the country. The U.S. Embassy in Kuwait urges U.S. citizens in Kuwait to shelter in place, review security plans in the event of an attack, and to stay alert in case of additional future attacks. Embassy personnel are sheltering in place, of course. As of 10 minutes ago, this person, she is reporting from Qatar. um, asked the question of, will Gulf states enter the war? When Iranian missiles slammed into Doha, Dubai, and Manama? Manama, yeah. Over the weekend, they shattered more than glass and concrete. They were also a blow to the Gulf states' carefully cultivated image. Yeah, this is honestly, it's a good question because I would assume more people would be joining the war just because whoops. But I don't know. Who the fuck knows? This is the aftermath of an Israeli strike in southern Beirut. If you're not on YouTube, you're not seeing this, but it's a picture of like a half destroyed building. It's a severely damaged building. Oh, there's more. Oh yeah, the side of that building's all fucked up. Okay. While we wait on more things for that. Oh, that was the one where Trump hasn't been seen yet. We're gonna talk about the shooting that was Sunday morning. See. A shooting early Sunday morning that started at a bar in Austin, Texas, is being investigated by the FBI as a potential act of terrorism. 3 were killed, including the shooter, and 14 others were injured when gunfire broke out shortly before 2 a.m. The shooting began when a gunman who was driving a large SUV passed in front of Buford's, a popular bar in downtown Austin, and opened fire from his vehicle. Patrons in front of the bar and on the bar's patio were struck. Local officials said that at a Sunday news conference, the SUV had circled the block a few times before the shooting. The shooter then drove to a nearby street, parked, and left his car. And thank you for liking the live. Hi, how are you? Oh God, where did I go? Like, immediately lost my place. The shooter then drove to a nearby street, parked, and left his car, and began shooting at passersby with a rifle. He then walked toward an intersection where he was shot and killed by the police after officers responded. Alex Doran, acting special agent in charge at the FBI's San Antonio field office, which is assisting with the investigation, said it was too early to determine the exact motive, but indicators on the subject and in his vehicle pointed to a potential nexus to terrorism. The FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force is involved in the investigation. What they mean when they say certain indicators on the subject and in his vehicle, they're talking about how this guy had on a sweatshirt that said "Property of Allah," and I believe an undershirt had the Iranian flag on it. I find that all very coincidental, right? I want to say too, and I'm not saying that it's not possible, right? But I've never seen a single property of Allah sweatshirt in my entire life. Um and and he had a Quran in his car too, which I don't, I'm not Muslim, obviously. Well, that's might not be obvious, but I do I like learning about it, and I have a Quran myself, but I can't imagine somebody carrying the Quran with them. You know what I mean? And I've never been to a mosque either. But I don't think they take their Quran with them, right? I mean, if somebody's here that can correct me on that. But yeah, I don't know. It's all very convenient. Like, right after we start a war with Iran, all of a sudden there's this guy shooting that's wearing property of Allah on his sweatshirt and an Iranian flag, specifically an Iranian flag. That's a little, I don't know, that just seems a little out there to me. Greg Abbott, God, I hate Greg Abbott. I'm so glad that I don't live in Texas. I live in Oklahoma, and we have Kevin Stitt. I hate the both of them so much. But Greg Abbott said, to anyone who thinks about using the current conflict in the Middle East to threaten Texans or our critical infrastructure, understand this clearly. Texas will respond with decisive and overwhelming force to protect our state. I mean, yeah, fair. Nothing he said was wrong, but let's see. A neighbor described a swarm of vehicles, including from the Austin Police Department, the FBI, and said a SWAT team breached a home to execute a search warrant. Neighbors described the person who lived in the home as a male renter who kept a low profile. See, they very much kept to themselves, said Chris Finch, who resides next door to the home. They really didn't say hi or anything. I mean, why did they even talk to that guy? He didn't have anything to add at all. He could have just said he kept to himself. I mean, whatever. Looks like 14 others were taken to the hospital. 3 people, including the shooter, was unfortunately passed away. And out of the 14 that were taken to the hospital, 3 of them were in critical condition. Let's see. The chief of police said this is a really tough time for Austin. She added that the shooting had occurred in an area regularly patrolled by police and medical personnel on the weekends, which allowed them to respond quickly. There are families right now that are unfortunately identifying their loved ones. We have families that are at the hospital rooms waiting for outcomes from surgery. That's the reality of what we're dealing with today. More thoughts and prayers. My heart goes out to their families, friends, classmates, professors, and loved ones. The sad part about this is that the US will never give up their guns. For whatever reason, they enjoy watching people die in this horrible way. And I don't get it. Like, I can understand having a weapon to protect your home, but you don't need multiple. You need one, maybe. Like, I don't know. Something needs to be done about the massive gun problem in this country, because that's just going to keep happening. People are going to keep dying. Our children shouldn't have to have active shooter drills. Like, but it's unfortunately a reality that they have to live in. I mean, I think I don't really remember doing active school drills or active shooter drills in school, but it has been a while. So, but to get back to the war, see, Iran's leaders are projecting calm as they navigate the Khamenei's death. We have been speaking to Trita Parsi, a Washington, D.C. based analysis on the succession in Iran after Khamenei's Khamenei's killing. He told Al Jazeera that it was crucial for the Iranian leadership to act swiftly, but also in accordance with established rules. Another thing that I've heard is that they kind of already have that plan. And that's why everything, like they're bombing anything and everything, is because not only are they out for revenge, which, by the way, like I mentioned earlier, the US and Israel, the first thing they bombed was an all-girls school and killed 115 children. Meanwhile, Iran is attacking US bases. And yes, while they are still killing people, 3 US soldiers have passed away. But they didn't immediately be like, oh, we should kill innocent civilians, right? They immediately went for the military. Like Trump said, some of you may die. Like, he's okay with it because it's not him, right? They use the military to fight wars for billionaires. It's annoying. Oh yeah, this was the one that pissed me the fuck off, because on Sunday, the US announced the first American casualties. Let me see. Yeah, as the conflict entered its second day, Trump said 48 Iranian leaders had been killed and that the US military had started sinking Iran's navy, destroying 9 Iranian warships so far and going after the rest. They've also closed the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. aircraft and warships have struck more than 1,000 Iranian targets since Trump ordered the start to major combat operations on Saturday. The strikes included B-2 stealth bombers dropping 2,000-pound bombs on hardened underground Iranian missile facilities. Let's go. Wait. Okay, well, I guess it does have the summary right here, but this says the very first sentence of this is the U.S. announced the first American casualties, but then goes into talking about how many people they've killed in Iran, destroying the Iranian Navy, and striking more targets. So when do we get to talking about the U.S. casualties? Yeah, and then this says Trump sought to brace the U.S. public for more casualties as he acknowledged the deaths, the first in major operations since he returned to office last year. Again, like I said, no new wars under the peacetime president, right? This is fucking wild. Let's see. Yeah, and again, this is just him talking about how it could last up to 4 weeks. It's talking about the Khamenei. Oh, where was it? Oh yeah, okay, here we go. It's always been a 4-week process. We figured it would be 4 weeks or so. It's always been about a 4-week process. So as strong as it is, it's a big country. It'll take 4 weeks or less. So is it going to take 4 weeks or not? Like, he could just say, hey, I have no idea, like, how long this is going to take. Let's see. Iran's foreign ministry said in a post on X that his country's military had studied defeats of the U.S. military to our immediate east and west, referring to Afghanistan and Iraq. We've incorporated lessons accordingly. Bombings in our capital have no impact on our ability to conduct war. If I'm being honest, I don't know how this is gonna fucking end. I've already seen people saying that this could be a forever war. Oh, here we go. And I would hate to see that fucking happen. Oh no, I read that earlier. But and another thing is that China is an ally of Iran. So it kind of makes me wonder if it gets worse if China is going to join. This is something I put in a video the other day. Why are we so concerned about Iran having weapons of mass destruction? Or whatever the phrasing is that they say, when China has it. China has nuclear weapons. Why are we not concerned about China, but we're concerned about Iran? That it just, none of it makes any fucking sense at all. Let's see this real quick. This one's just about Democrats denouncing the strikes. I mean, of course they are. I also thought it was funny. This is a side thing, but there was a video of Mamdani, Jesus, who he had just visited the White House again, and he brought I think they were both photocopies. The first photocopy was an old picture of like a really old newspaper that was talking about something that a president had done, and then they did the same thing with Trump. Obviously, it's not like real because it hasn't happened, but it essentially it was like, oh, this is what the papers would say about you, trying to get Trump to do good things instead of the shitty things he is doing. It was very, very clever, and I kind of wonder why nobody's doing that. Like Trump doesn't like Democrats. It doesn't matter if you are trying to like get on his side, really. He just fucking hates Democrats. However, if you do that kind of stuff, he's more likely, because he thinks of himself a hero. Every time we bomb one of these countries, like when we attacked Venezuela and kidnapped Maduro, what's one of the first things he said was, we liberated Venezuela. And now he's trying to liberate Iran. So he's trying to play the hero. So if you make him feel like he's going to be a hero for doing this, he's like a child. He really is. It's very funny. It's actually not funny at all, but you gotta laugh through the pain, right? Man, I haven't talked this long in a long time. I need like some water or something. But yeah, Trump is just absolutely... I don't know how long it's going to take for everything that Trump has fucked up to unfuck it up, but it's gonna take a while. Let's see. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of... Wasn't there another shooting today, though? Or was this the only one? But... what the fuck? What does that mean? No panicins? What does that mean? Trust in Trump. Well, it's obviously somebody who's a fucking Trump supporter. But I don't know at all how this is going to end. I don't know if it's going to... if more people are going to... more countries are going to join in, or what. I just don't know. Let's see. Oh, this was 4 minutes ago. Strong explosions in the capital of Kurdistan in Iraq. Yeah. Another thing that I saw was, and I didn't watch it. I just saw that there was a video of Obama talking about the the whole apes thing that fucking that Trump posted. They tried to blame a staffer, but oh, what? That's another thing I haven't talked about in a while is Sudan and the Congo. And there's a lot of things that are going on here, and if we don't take care of what's going on here, then we're not going to be able to help anybody else outside the country. Sudan's army chief and head of the Transitional Sovereignty Council held telephone calls on Monday with the leaders of Qatar, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait to pledge Khartoum's support following the wave of Iranian missile and drone strikes across the region. The diplomatic outreach follows a massive weekend offensive by Tehran, which targeted U.S. military bases and civilian infrastructure, including airports, hotels, and ports across the Gulf. Yeah. It kind of seems like, for whatever reason, like every country is siding with the US. Well, for whatever reason, because this is what happens whenever you go against the US, they destabilize your country, right? Also, the State of the Union, as much of a fucking mess as it was, I really enjoyed watching Ilhan Omar yell and in protest. Like, watching her is my favorite thing. I love her so much. Ha! That's really funny. Sudan condemns Iranian missile strikes but excludes the UAE from the statement, which the UAE is heavily involved with what's going on in Sudan. They are part of the reason, if not the major reason, why Sudan is the way it is. Like, obviously it's everybody, but the UAE benefits the most, and the reason why it's become such a rich place is because of the UAE being such a problem in Sudan. Stealing their gold, and whatever other resources Sudan has. And the UAE is not great. I heard a story, and I don't remember, like, if it was on TikTok or if it was by a specific um, like news site, but the UAE takes specific people's passports, and will they will essentially keep them as slaves. That's a fairly common thing that they do. And I think it's a specific group of people, but I can't. And of course, I didn't save it, so I don't remember. But the UAE is just as much as a terrorist country as the US is. Yeah. A while back, a bunch of Sudanese people went to evacuated essentially to Ethiopia, and they are like, they're overwhelmed. Ethiopia is extremely overwhelmed right now with how many Sudanese refugees they've taken in. Yeah, I need to look at news from the Congo as well. But I don't have time for that right now. I'm about to get off of the live, end the live, but I think I actually want to look at this. God damn, that's a massive place. So I think this is Zorro Ranch, which I don't know why it surprises me. Oh, I was about to say, is there even a road to get out of there, or do you have to like fly in? But this was being investigated because I think it was like a tip that was sent into the FBI that two teenage girls were buried on Zorro Ranch, but I still haven't heard if that's true or not. And I've never heard anything about it since. Like, I heard about it one time, and that was it. But this is also, by the way, this is the war that's happening right now is just to distract from the Epstein files. I don't understand how you can just try. We're not going to forget. Like, we're not going to forget that you are out here, that our president is a pedophile. We're not going to forget that. I mean, and in my opinion, everybody needs to be talking about it, because the shit that Epstein did is insane, and the fact that this country is continuing to let all of these people get away with it is wild to me. Because if this was just regular people, they'd be picked up just like that. And everybody would be like, oh, this is what we did. But when it comes to billionaires and especially the president, why the fuck do we have a president that's a pedophile? This is not new information. We've known that he was a pedophile since his first term. What are we doing right now? Like, what the fuck is this? But whatever. I don't know. I'm probably going to do a live tomorrow as well, but I think I'm going to get off for now and go hang out at the gym for a little bit. So I shall see the majority of everybody tomorrow.